Hey, are you a realtor struggling to get listing leads in 2025? Maybe your referrals are drying up, you're not getting the same consistency you've had in the past. Maybe you're running Facebook ads and you're just getting a bunch of tire kicker leads or even Google PPC. But in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system that I use for all of my clients that I'm working with to get them 5+ qualified listing leads per month. Now, when I say lead, that term has honestly gotten so washed over and wishy-washy in the past couple years just because people are considering a lead just a name, email, and number and saying, okay, here's a lead, go call them. But you call that person and you realize, first of all, it's not even a real person. They're from Mars. Second of all, their dogs sign up for the ad. And third of all, they don't even own a house, right? So how is that? So that's considered a lead nowadays. Now, the leads that I'm talking about is probably more what you're looking for in terms of somebody who actually has intent in selling their home, has a realistic timeline, and is not working with the real estate agent. That's really the three big things. It's intent, timeline, and quality, right? But anyways, I'm going to show you the exact system. I'm going to make myself smaller. So first of all, just why YouTube ads over your typical Facebook ads, Zillow leads, Realtor.com. There's so much stuff out there. I'm sure you've tried it all. I speak with realtors every day who have tried X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D. They've tried everything, and honestly, nothing has really worked. So first of all, the old school lead gen, your typical referrals, mailers, Zillow, Facebook ads, you'll find that it does get quite expensive. Now, not in all cases. Like, for example, your Facebook ads are going to be pretty cheap. You can spend $5 and get a lead. But again, we already talked about those leads. The next part is just a lot of times they're low quality and it's just very unpredictable. It's just hard to really get consistency and scale it and almost systemize it, which is, I'm guessing, if you think like a business owner, you realize that you need to create systems, you need to create leverage for yourself. You can't be doing everything at once and for yourself, right? You need to delegate. Now, here's why I do like YouTube ads is first of all, you're getting a lot higher intent because of the targeting and just the basic messaging in your ads, which I'm going to go over in a second. Second part is it's warm leads. That's the nice thing about video is people are getting familiar with you before you're actually reaching out, which is a huge problem I see just with online leads in general. They're all so cold because they just don't know who you are. Even if they do have intent in selling their home, it's going to be tough for someone to say, oh, I just saw this person posted a picture of a home and they said, oh, check what your home's worth. I clicked on it and now they want to list my home, right? Like there's no trust being built. Sure, you gave them the value of their home, but how many other realtors could do that? Every single one. So why not, first of all, be on the video, differentiate yourself in that aspect. First of all, doing something that 99% of realtors don't do is just being on video. Second, have a message, have an angle, have an offer that's unique and actually tailored towards the person you want to bring in. So don't offer something that everybody else is running. Offer something unique, think outside of the box, and what would these people actually find valuable? And when you find that, it's going to become so easy to not only identify the type of person you want to bring in, but also for those people to see, oh, this is actually something valuable. I feel like this is worth my time and actually opting in, and they would be much more open to having a conversation with you. Think about it like this. On Halloween, when kids are going all over the place, most houses hand out like fun sized Twix, they hand out Smarties and stuff. But there's always those couple houses, maybe even just one or two houses that are giving out king sizes. They're giving out cans of pop, right? That's kind of what you want to be. You want to be that house giving out that king size Twix. You want to be giving out that king size Kit Kat, right? So just think about it like that, and it makes it a bit easier when you're thinking about your offer. And then the last part, of course, is just a consistent flow. You're not having to wait for the market to fluctuate, interest rates to drop. It's just what people are always looking to buy or sell. That's never not going to be the case. It's just about finding those people. And the great thing about YouTube ads is it does find those people because that's what you're paying for, literally, right? So high intent, warm leads, consistent flow. Now I'm going to show you the 3 steps to get listing leads. And I kind of broke it down pretty quickly here, but it should give you a super good idea. So the first step is the targeting. So this goes back to the intent of the leads we're actually bringing in. So first of all, who should see your ads? So I'm going to give you a few ideal seller audiences. And these are ones that are proven that I've tested, and you'll be able to see why they work because it's really not rocket science. So number one is just anyone searching how to sell my house. So any keywords, anything related to that. So we know, okay, this person's in the market. So what you want to do when you're in your audience, go to custom intent and then you're going to create a new audience. I just name it, you can name it sellers. It's actually a segment, custom segment. What you want to do, target anyone, people who search for any of these terms on Google. So for example, how to sell my home fast, sell my house, tips to sell your home, Zillow home value estimator, how to sell my home fast, estimate my home value. I have the same one on there twice. Oh, house and home. Okay. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, so just doing terms like that where okay, people are in the market, they're looking up terms around actually selling their home. They're in the market because you're targeting them. You're targeting keywords that only people in the market would be searching for. So that's the first segment you can use. Second one is just straight up homeowners. So that's an option on Google, the targeting. You can literally target homeowners, so people who own a home. And that one works really, 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 really well. And that's probably the easiest one to do. And then third, this is something that's slept on, but I wanted to add, is if you have an IDX website, you have people going on your website, you have a decent social media following, what you can do is upload a list and just retarget people who have already visited your website. Now, I love retargeting. I think it's so slept on just because it's the cheapest form of advertising because you're only reaching a specific list of people. And typically it's not 20, 30, 40,000 people, right? It's a really small list, but they all have intent because of the action that they've taken, whether that's interacting with your Instagram page that's geared towards real estate, right? That's somebody you want to target. But it really all boils down to people in the market, people who are actively searching, more or less your warm leads. So what I don't want you to do is broad targeting like real estate or just keywords like that, just because people could be looking to rent. They could be someone maybe stole their mom's phone, right? So just make sure you're getting specific when you're doing this, because the caveat is these keywords do work, but if you're just doing them very, very broad, not specific, it's going to actually play against you and not in your favor. So keep that in mind. Now, the next part is using a proven ad formula. So there's really 3 parts to a winning YouTube ad, just stupid simple. There's the hook, there's the value, and there's the call to action. So I'm going to show you the winning ad formula right here. So the hook is the first 15 seconds, and this is where you're grabbing the viewer's attention, but also something that is slept on is you need to call out who that ad is for. Because it's one thing, anyone can get somebody's attention. Oh, I just got struck by lightning and won the lottery, right? But what does that have to do with anything? You're not speaking to anyone. You're just speaking to someone who wants to be entertained and is bored. So what you can do, you obviously want to grab attention, but when you're looking for a specific type of person, a specific type of lead, what you need to do is also call them out. What you could do, for example, if you're a Chicago luxury real estate agent and you're targeting sellers, is you could say, hey, I sold this home in X area. I sold this listing in Chicago last week for $27 million, which is $200,000 over asking price, right? That's just an example that came to mind, but something like that, you're grabbing their attention and saying, hey, and I can do the same for you. So what that's doing is calling out, okay, if I have a luxury home in the Chicago area, this is probably the go-to person. Now, that's just one example. Another one you could do is, hey, are you looking to sell your home in the Chicago area, but don't want to pay massive commissions? So that could be if you have, for example, a lower commission cost. Just something where you're calling them out, but also grabbing attention. And it doesn't even have to be, you don't need to grab attention specifically. You can honestly get away with just calling them out. So, hey, are you looking to sell your home in Chicago? Then watch this video. Now, the problem with that, and one thing I want to mention, is especially in those saturated markets and the more competitive markets like your Chicago's, Vegas, Minneapolis, all those bigger markets, it is going to be tough to stand out if you're running an ad like that. So that's the one caveat. I would think about what market you're in and basically how much these people have seen and how sophisticated they are. Because if they're more sophisticated, you're going to need to get a bit, you're going to need to think a bit more when writing that hook. But it's not super hard, but it's the most important part of the ad for sure. And what I'll say is 80% of your time and effort, as Alex Hormozi says, should go into the hook. Now, the next part is the value. So this is the middle part. And basically summarizing it in 4 words, why should they care, right? So you can talk all you want, but if you're not providing any value, no real insights to these people, that's going to change their paradigm. They just don't care. Why would they listen? Why would they take the time to go and opt into your ad? You need to provide some sort of real value, something tangible that's actually helping these people. And then only after you provide value, then you can make your call to action. And that's when you just tell them exactly what to do. So after you've provided enough value, you called them out who you're looking for, people are going to have no problem opting in and taking the next action because one, they trust you, and two, they see the value. They see that it's actually worth their time because you did good in this part. You provided value. And after you provide value, that's when you can make your call to action. And that's how you get serious people to opt in, but also who already trust you. And for a quick reference, this is exactly what I'm doing here, right? I'm providing value. I have a hook at the beginning, and I'm going to make a call to action at the end to book a call with me, right? But it's only after I'm providing value, because why should anybody care? If I'm telling people to go book a call, why would they do that if I haven't given them anything or any reason to trust me? So that's super important. The ad is one of the most important parts when you're running YouTube ads. As compared to Facebook or something, you definitely need to put a lot of time and effort into the video and into the creative. And what I also want to mention, a quick side note, is when I say a lot of effort into it, I don't mean it needs to be some studio quality, some cinematic ad. You can literally go out in your backyard, record horizontally on your iPhone. So what one of my clients did, and literally just add captions to it, right? It's super, super simple, but you need to make sure the messaging is on point. Now, the last step is you need a back-end conversion system. So this is a huge problem that I see a lot of realtors fail with when running ads. Is they get the ads right, they're getting really good, a low cost per lead, but they're not converting anybody into deals. They're not seeing an ROI because they just don't have a back-end system. Now, I don't blame you guys at all. I know how busy you are, and you honestly don't have time to be calling these leads or to set anything up. But in that case, you need to have some sort of VA, an ISA, or something to do this. You can have AI do it for you. Like some people tell you, oh, AI is the new virtual assistant. Go try that and come back to me with your results. Anyways, you just need something on the back end. So lead follow-up literally equals more deals. And that's from testing. When I used to, I wouldn't provide any appointment setting services to my clients with the Facebook ads. They would just be flooded with leads, but it wouldn't mean anything because there's just no way to convert them or to talk with them all. So you need a follow-up system, and that's how you're going to close more deals. But the nice thing about YouTube ads I want to mention is even if you have an extra 20 minutes a day, 15, 20 minutes a day to dedicate time to following up with leads, that's going to be more than enough, because with YouTube ads, because it is so targeted, the lead cost is going to be higher and we're bringing in less people because of that. So what that means is you're not going to be having to follow up with 100 leads a month. It's going to be around like 8 to 15, sometimes in the 20 range, but it just depends on your market. But if that's something you can manage, then by all means, go do it. It's really not too hard. You just need to make sure you have a way to stay consistent with this and to actually follow up. So this is a quick walkthrough of the funnel. So, and why follow-up's important. So it starts with the ad. They click on it, go to the landing page, they go to the booking page. Now, some of the time, about 20%, they're going to book that call. And that's when you just build trust before the call with, you can call them, you can nurture them with content, all that sort of stuff. But of course, for the ones who didn't book a call, you need a way to follow up. So that's number one, calls. Number two, text, leave voicemails, and email. So you should be utilizing at least 3 of these. Calls and texts are definitely the most important. So really, if you have those, that's all you need. But you need to make sure you're doing calls and at least one of these other methods to follow up with these people until you hear from them. And from there, that's when you book the call, right? So big mistake, no follow-up is just lost deals. So the best practice, you need to reach out within 3 to 5 minutes of the lead opting in. You heard me correctly, 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm not just throwing out a number because someone at Harvard said it would increase your results by 800%, even though they did a study on that and it was something insane. If you're not reaching out with a lead in the first 5 minutes, the chances of you closing them goes down. It was like 800% or something. Now, don't quote me on that, but it's something ridiculous. You can go check it out for yourself. So you need to reach out as soon as possible. Again, this is either you, a virtual assistant, an ISA, or someone else to do this for you. So right there, that's the 3 steps to getting high quality listing leads with YouTube ads. Now I'm going to show you an example of how I got a $1.75 million listing from one single ad in 29 days. So this is a screenshot from one of my client accounts, Tina, and I have a couple of videos with her and on her exact strategy. You can go check those out after this. But she spent $308 in 29 days. You can see started January 23rd, and this is until February 22nd, and spent $308. You can see the clicks, the impressions, click-through rate, Look at that, 9% click-through rate. That's ridiculous. Leads, look at, and only it's like 7 leads coming in, and we got a $1.75 million listing from 7 leads. So that's what I'm talking about. When you prioritize quality and intent over quantity and just bring in a ton of leads, it doesn't matter. All you need is one lead. If you got one lead a month and it was a $1.75 million listing, I'm sure you wouldn't complain. So I don't know why people are still out there promising, oh, I'm going to get you 50 leads or you don't pay. Well, why do I care what a lead is, right? All you need is 7 leads, and one of those is going to turn into a listing, right? And you can see two out of those 7 were qualified booked appointments. That's the other thing. You're getting the most serious ones just to turn into appointments for you. So I'm not going to go exactly on my strategy now, but again, you can check out my other videos after. So this is the text right here that I sent to Tina after I spoke with the lead. I actually was doing the appointment setting for Tina. But yeah, it was a $1.75 million listing. This was the same day, about 2 minutes after the lead came in. Basically sent to Tina this text. You can see it's in the Summerlin, Las Vegas area. Home values, super, super high, super nice over there. See, 25 million, ridiculous. But anyways, for Tina, that's about $45,000 in commission after spending $309 using this exact profiling strategy. Now, I call it a profiling strategy because it's really about identifying who the serious people are and only bringing them in because you only have a message that speaks to them, right? So that's it. Again, now that was my value. Now I have my call to action in there, just like you should have. If you want this done for you, if you want me to implement this for you, like I don't hide anything on these videos. I prefer to give as much value as possible up front. And then you're going to say, wow, if he's giving this up front, he's providing this. I can't imagine what he's going to do if I pay him to do this, right? So if you want this entire thing implemented for you, you can just book a call with me using the first link in the description. But other than that, I really do appreciate you sticking around until the end. If you're still here, if you have any questions about just YouTube ads in general, I know a lot of realtors do just because it is a newer thing that not a lot of people are familiar with, or you know something, you want to mention something that I missed. So comment any other video ideas or questions you have. Otherwise, you can also DM me on Instagram as well if you have any specific questions. I can try to make a video on it for you. But other than that, I really do appreciate you watching this. And yeah, go check out some of my other videos if you like.